What took place in Dallas was very unfortunate, but here we have a Dallas sniper. Anti-ICE carved on bullet casings and a handwritten note. Give ICE agents real terror. Tonight we cut through the spin with receipts from the FBI briefing start to finish. Now, this identity is on the screen. We can make all the claims we want, but labels don't prove motive because evidence ultimately does. So, what did investigators actually recover? Notes, searches, and a plan. So keep your eye on the receipts, not the hashtags. Here's what a planned for months piece lands.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to start by thanking our acting United States Attorney, Nancy Larson, and her office for their support during this investigation. My name is Joe Rhetoric, and I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI's Dallas Field Office. Yesterday morning, Joshua Yan carried out a targeted, ambush-style attack on law enforcement. Today, I will provide you with some updates of what we've learned through our investigation to date, to include Jan's own words in his handwritten notes. Jan specifically intended to kill ICE agents. He fired at transport vehicles carrying ICE personnel, federal agents, and detainees. He also fired multiple shots into the windows of the office building where numerous ICE employees do their jobs every day. We now know that Jan engaged in significant high degree of pre-attack planning. He searched for information about the office building and how to track ICE agents' locations. Jan also acknowledged the potential for other casualties. He knew with a high likelihood ICE detainees would be transported that morning in the exact location where he was facing from his perch on a nearby rooftop. Jan's attack did in fact result in the tragic death of one detainee and the injury to two other detainees. We have been able to confirm that Jan legally obtained an 8mm bolt-action rifle he used in the shooting in August of this year. Based on our investigation to date, we believe Jan acted alone, but I'll stress our investigation continues. This attack yet again underscores the dangers that law enforcement face daily. We continue to see an increased threats against law enforcement. This is the second attack in recent months on ICE facilities here in North Texas. I do want to take this opportunity to thank our law enforcement partners, some of whom are here with us today. When Jan began firing, agents from both ICE and the ATF put themselves in the line of fire to move individuals off the transportation vehicles in an attempt to protect and rescue those that were injured. I want to thank them for their bravery. The Dallas Police Department and the Dallas County Sheriff's Office also quickly responded to the scene without any hesitation and ran towards danger. Ultimately, they located the shooter, who was deceased by an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. I want to thank them for their prompt response and dedication to protecting and serving their communities. I also want to thank our partners that have assisted in this investigation. The Fairview Police Department, as well as our partners in Oklahoma, to include Bryant County Sheriff's Department, Durant Police Department, and Choctaw Nation Light Horse Police, as well as our personnel from San Antonio and Oklahoma City within the FBI that assisted. The FBI has dedicated its entire breadth of resources to ensure this investigation is completed thoroughly. The FBI stands with our law enforcement partners, and today we express that the attacks against law enforcement officers will not be tolerated. While we believe Jan acted alone, we are still asking that anyone with information about Jan or his activities report that to the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI or at www.fbi.gov/Dallas ERO shooting. And with that, I will turn it over to Director Charles.
Good afternoon. My name is Marco.
When FBI says months, that kills the random outburst narrative. Pre-attack planning elevates it from outrage to strategy. Strategy means intent. And intent is everything in how this gets prosecuted and remembered. Now, the note that chills every ICE agent.
is CNN Breaking News.
And we begin with the breaking news. The FBI Director Kash Patel is now sharing brand new details about the Bureau's investigation into yesterday's shooting outside an ICE detention facility in Dallas. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez covers immigration extensively for all of us. She's joining us here in the Situation Room. Priscilla, what's the new information?
Well, Wolf, this is a post on X that was posted again just moments ago by the FBI director. He lays out 4 specific things that they have found connected to the suspected shooter in this event. So let me go through some of these. According to the FBI director, the suspected shooter downloaded a document titled, and I quote here, Dallas County Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management, that containing a list of DHS facilities. The director also says that this shooter conducted multiple searches of ballistics and, quote, the Charlie Kirk shot video in late September. Goes on to say that in August, he searched apps that tracked the presence of ICE agents. And then also the director references a handwritten note that was recovered that read, quote, hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror to think, is there a sniper with rounds on that roof? Now, this is all according to the FBI director. Up until this point, the only thing that they had offered was the ballistics, one of which had a blue marker anti-ICE. So the administration is casting this as a targeted attack against immigration and customs enforcement because this shooting occurred at that facility in Dallas.
Just to quote it, he said, let me back it up. Make sure we get it right. Excuse me. Hopefully this will give ICE agents real terror. Is there a sniper with AP rounds on that roof? That's not a protest. That's psychological warfare by design. Add in searches for ballistics, faculty lists, and tracking apps. That wasn't a tantrum. It was a blueprint that he laid out. And I don't know if it's AUSA or ALSA, but they spell out the rest. Ladder, target maps, and killer irony.
Initially, I want to commend the cooperation of the Dallas Police Department, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, the ATF, ICE, and HSI for their swift and decisive response to this crime. Members of these agencies quickly secured the scene and the evidence and worked tirelessly to determine any continuing threat. Due to their efforts, it did not take long to ascertain the identity of the shooter, who was deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and that he very likely acted alone. His name is Joshua Yan, 29, of Fairview, Texas. Let me just review a very brief summary of the timeline of yesterday's attack. We believe at some point around 3 o'clock in the morning that the suspect was seen driving on footage with a large ladder on his car. And we believe that that is what he used to position himself on top of the building. The shooting itself started at approximately 6:30 a.m. After the shooting started, Dallas Police Department arrived en masse, secured the scene. Law enforcement officers found the sniper dead. They found bullets on the rooftop, one of which was labeled with the words anti-ICE. That morning, gunshots sprayed the length of the building, the windows, and law enforcement vans that were in the Sallyport area. Detainees were struck by these bullets. One was killed, 2 were wounded, and both of them are undergoing treatment. Shortly thereafter, the FBI began its meticulous work at the crime scene. At the same time, we obtained and executed multiple search warrants yesterday for devices and locations associated with the sniper. FBI agents executed a search warrant at the sniper's residence yesterday and there found a collection of notes. First, I want to point out that one of these notes or papers, the sniper explicitly states, yes, it was just me. That statement appears to be correct at this point in the investigation. Notably, these loose notes included a game plan of the attack and target areas at the facility. He called the ICE employees people showing up to collect a dirty paycheck. He wrote that he intended to maximize lethality against ICE personnel and to maximize property damage at the facility. He hoped to minimize any collateral damage or injury to the detainees and any other innocent people. It seems that he did not intend to kill the detainees or harm them. It's clear from these notes that he was targeting ICE agents and ICE personnel. The tragic irony for his evil plot here is that it was a detainee who was killed and 2 other detainees that were injured when he fired into the Sally Port. He also hoped his actions would give ICE agents real terror of being gunned down, and he did this to induce constant stress in their lives. He hoped his actions would terrorize ICE employees and interfere with their work, which he called human trafficking. And this, what he did, is the very definition of terrorism. Again, his notes reveal, yes, it was just me and my brain. And he said, good luck with the digital footprint. And of course, we take this to mean that he deleted evidence from his devices. His words were definitively anti-ICE. That said, we did not find evidence of membership in any specific group or entity, nor did he mention any specific government agency other than ICE. Among his papers, though, was a handwritten note in which, in crude words, he expressed his hatred for the federal government. Finally, I want to address the heroism of our federal agents yesterday. While under fire, ICE agents and ATF agents who were also present in the facility's Sally Port area worked together to remove detainees from the vans and get them to safety while the bullets were flying. These agents were heroic, clearly willing to lay down their lives to save the lives of the detainees in their custody. And that's an extremely important point to make at this point in time. I want to express my deepest appreciation for the bravery of these law enforcement officers yesterday and every single day that they go out there to keep us safe. I'll now turn it over to FBI Special Agent in charge of the Dallas field office, Joe Rothrock. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to start by thanking our acting United States Attorney.
2 things can be true. He wrote about minimizing detainee harm, and the detainee still died. That's why intent doesn't erase outcome. The notes maximize lethality, if that's a word, against ICE personnel and terrorize them into constant stress. That's not the textbook of what terror is. I don't know what it is. Now let's zoom out. What happens when rhetoric keeps pouring gasoline?
Who do you hold responsible for the uptick in left-wing violence in the country?
Radical left rhetoric. The radical left is causing the problem. They're out of control. They're saying things, and they're really dumb people. I mean, I look at Crockett. I look at some of these people. They're very low IQ people, actually. But the radical left is causing this problem. Not the right, the radical left. And it's going to get worse, and ultimately it's going to go back on them. I mean, bad things happen when they play these games. And I'll give you a little clue. The right is a lot tougher than the left. But the right's not doing this. They're not doing it, and they better not get them energized, because it won't be good for the left. And I don't want to see that happen either. I'm the president of all the people. But the radical left is causing this. Radical left Democrats are causing this problem. And it gets worse. It gets worse. And it'll be a point where other people won't take it anymore, and that will not be good for the radical left. And we don't want that. Okay, thank you.
Now, whether you like Trump or not, the escalation warning is real. Keep normalizing political violence, and you don't just lose arguments, you lose stability. We need one standard. Violence is a line that you don't cross. Point blank, period. Now, receipts are always going to beat the narrative. The record now shows notes, months of preparation, and a steady goal: terrorize ICE. If you're for justice, keep your standard consistent. No violence, no excuses. If you made it to the end of the video, actually, put no violence, no excuses. That way I know. Y'all be safe. Please go check on a friend today. You can quite literally be saving their life. Peace.